All right, Arvin, I see you dancing. You're fired up for Prime Day, which is currently when we're recording this is actually right around the corner, but we know Prime Day is every single year, so this question kind of always comes up. So I guess like just
Yeah.
thinking about that and Prime Day being on the horizon, I know there's tons of different things we could talk about around Prime Day in terms of like what you should do and strategy and this and that, but I guess I just wanted to ask you, since you've been through a lot of Prime Days, like what are some of the really important things that you kind of think about leading up to a Prime Day? So, like, let's say a month out, 2 months out, or a week out. Like, what are some of the things that you just kind of think about or consider?
Oh yeah, that's a really interesting question because yeah, Prime Day or anything that you will do for Prime Day is always just a strategy, right? So for me, the first thing that I will check is of course before I enroll something for Prime Day, I'll make sure that okay, where am I at this point when it comes to the ranking, and also do I need to actually try to push it more, or I'm happy with where I am currently, because Prime Day, as we know it, is that for most sellers, the goal is to not really to become profitable, but just to increase your ranking after that, because it will be
Yeah,
the after effect, right? So are you willing to lose money for, let's say, for a product that is already ranking well, or you're just really trying to push a new product that you just launched? So I will check the history of my listings, check how many sales I am making a month, because I will also use that information to project how many inventory I would need if I will be aggressive for Prime Day.
yeah.
So
So
that's
again,
one
so
thing.
so just to unpack what you said, like I think a couple key points there because that I was thinking about too. It's like one I didn't really think about that is really important is like make sure you check your listing and everything is like looks amazing, right? Leading into Prime Day. And I always
Yeah.
check like literally in the past when I would like manage brands and whatnot, I'd literally check at like 12:01 a.m. to make sure like my coupons were like live if I was gonna run coupons or anything. Cause sometimes I've seen it where like I've set them up for like a few listings and there's a glitch last second
Mm,
where we something happens and it gets like
yeah.
suppressed, which is like terrifying. So I always would do that. And number two is like the
Mm-hmm.
inventory thing, right? Like obviously
Yeah.
inventory, regardless of what you do, Prime Day is going to bring more shoppers. And so like even if you don't do anything, you're probably still going to see a spike in sales. And now that Amazon's doing like 2 day, 2 day Prime Days, obviously you should consider having more inventory on hand. So inventory is number two there. And what was the third thing? I think you said kind of a third thing, or maybe you were starting to kind of lead into like the strategy piece. I'm not sure.
Yeah. The strategy piece, let's say, for example, reviewing my PPC, but also I'm checking my profitability, like how much am I willing to sacrifice when it comes to my profit for doing this Prime Day. Again, it's more of like launching a new product, or
Right.
just really trying to increase the ranking of my already existing product, or just like I'll do something for Prime Day but not really participate there. So like next thing I will do is to prepare my PPC, check my keywords, check my budget, because there will be like a massive traffic. People
Yeah.
will like go and like researching for products that they'd like to buy, and then put it into their cart, and then check it out during on Prime Day. So making like what I will prepare as well, like myself, would be I need to be on top of everything on that day, because a lot of things will happen. Customer might reach out to me, or I might actually run out of stock. I'll also contact my supplier right away. So yeah, projecting inventory is the one big thing there,
Love
because
it.
you have to ask your manufacturer to produce more products for you after that. So yeah, and then it's going on a day to day, preparing it, even a week before that, if you can, like, because eventually probably you may notice that your sales might, like, for a week or two, might go down, because obviously people will try not to buy before Prime Day, right?
Yeah. Like just anticipating
So.
Prime Day.
Mhm. So yeah, that's some of the things I'll prepare. That my PPC, is it really, do I have like enough, or my keywords are those set for Prime Day? Also my listings, try to optimize it. Like making sure that these are all of the keywords that the customers are using to look for a product that I'm selling. and
Sure.
try to optimize the listing before that. So that, yeah, I'm just talking about the pre Prime Day, but obviously there's a lot more to do post Prime Day.
Yeah. And I'm just asking, obviously, you're kind of like your general like things that best practices, like what you think about, because we can get into the whole realm of like you have all kinds of different options in terms of like what you're doing before, during, and after Prime Day with PPC. To be honest, I'm not an expert on that stuff. I know like I've always had kind of a very generic, strategy, which was pretty much we increase our budgets for Prime Day. This was, a couple years ago. And then normally after Prime Day, we're running a lot more remarketing, than we maybe normally would to kind of
Yeah.
retarget some of those customers. But now, like we were talking about it earlier today or the other day, just like there's also an argument. Do you really even want to run more PPC? And in some cases, maybe you're going to actually want to turn PPC off on Prime Day because maybe you as a brand like just want to capitalize and get that free organic traffic. But it actually you don't want to compete and spend those ridiculous bid a ridiculous amount on PPC to get the extra traffic. Is it really worth it? I suppose. And that's something like I've never worked with a brand that we've talked about that before. It's always been like, hey, let's set up like a Prime exclusive discount and run way more PPC, like double our budget for the day or what have you. So that's definitely been something like I've been thinking about more just since we've talked about it and kind of heard it, discussed in the Amazon circles a bit more.
Yeah, that's true. Like, cause as I've said, there will be like massive traffic, and if let's say you have 100 or maybe $200 budget for one campaign, in just a matter of hour or maybe 2 hours, that budget will run out, and how many sales you've made. But it depends. It's a case by case basis again. So if your product is new and your ranking is like far from the first page, then you have to be aggressive on the PPC, because I mean your goal is not to be profitable. Your goal is to actually rank your product. So you have to increase visibility, and that would mean that sometimes you really have to push for your advertising, but not really super aggressive, because other sellers may be really aggressive, and then after an hour, their campaigns might run out of budget. Then it will be an opportunity for you, for your campaigns to show up on the first page, right? But then again, it's the case by case basis, because it depends on the search volume of the keywords that you're using. So
Sure.
you just have to monitor all of this.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, and there's no like one size fits all strategy. Obviously, it totally depends on where you're at as a brand, obviously, and kind of what your overall strategy is. But yeah, no, that's awesome. Thanks for sharing those thoughts. I think that's really good stuff. Obviously, we're a little late with this kind of video for this year's Prime Day, but I guess the part one Prime Day. So I'm guessing they'll have another one maybe later this year. But
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway,
Post
thank you.
Prime Day?
Huh?
Post Prime Day may be something that
Post
we need
Prime
to
Day.
discuss. Yeah, obviously those people who or customers who bought your item, you have to follow up. Like reviews is an opportunity for you to have more reviews, right?
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
a good comment too. Like there is a lot. If you get an influx of traffic, obviously it's a good chance to also go and make sure that those people are leaving reviews. So doing a request to review or anything else like that.
And keyword mining also, like since there will be more traffic, then people are using more using more and more keywords to look for product, and that's something that you maybe can check your own campaigns if you have phrase or broad campaigns, and even do another round of keyword searching or search term, looking for search term using apps like or tools like Helium 10 or ZonGuru.
Yeah, I love it. Cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing. I appreciate it. And yeah, that's a lot of helpful stuff, even for me to talk about and just hear from you.